I'm starting up a new series for the holidays that I'm calling the 12 Days of Gifts, where each day I'm going to show you guys a different product that I make that you can either follow along with, so you can, do something a little DIY at home as a gift, or you can go ahead and order from me in my TikTok shop down below. So we're going to start off kind of slow. This is the easiest thing that I make. It's the fabric bookmarks. And the first thing that we need to think about are the ribbon. So I do put a ribbon at the top of a bookmark. And the easiest place that I get these at is either the dollar store, believe it or not. They have it where the flowers are, the craft aisle. And they have a bunch of different ones, at least in my dollar store. So you want to look for ribbon that is 5/8 of an inch. I also like the ones that have a little bit of like a grain to them, I guess, that are just a little bit heavier. I don't like the ones that are kind of satiny. I mean, they're fine, or the ones that are really thin. Those don't work all that well. But if that's what you enjoy, go ahead and go for it. I do also find these sometimes on sale at like Hobby Lobby or Joann's or even Walmart. I've gotten some for like 75 cents for a whole roll of them. So just find something that kind of goes along with what you're doing. The next thing we need to do is think about fabric. So whatever fabric you're going to use, you need two pieces of fabric, so a front and a back side, obviously. And we're going to put a piece of interfacing in there. I use Pellon 809 just because it's thin, it's lightweight, but any kind of lightweight interfacing that you have, you can absolutely use. Now, if you are extra like me and you like doing a ton of these at a time, I go ahead and use fat quarters. Those are 18 by 22 inch pieces of fabric. You don't have to though. So what I've done here with this one, I'm showing you guys, I went ahead and put the interfacing already on that front piece. I've ironed it on, and I put the back piece below it. So when I cut it, the pieces are already together and I don't have to take that extra step of putting front and back together. So it's already set for me. Now what I'm doing is I'm cutting these in strips. These end up being 2.5 inches wide. So I'm cutting these 2.5 inch strips, and then I'll be cutting them 6.5 inches long. So there's not a lot, if you're using a fat quarter with these, there's not a lot of waste that happens, and you can get quite a lot of bookmarks out of just, two fat quarters and a bit of interfacing. So here I'm just taking those strips and I'm cutting them in 6.5 inches. So they're going to be that long. Now, if you want to cut them a different size, that's totally fine, obviously. But this works for me. This I've found is a pretty good size that works for hardcovers and paperbacks. So, again, there's not a lot of waste that happens when you do this. So if you do a bunch at a time, you just want to go ahead and once you've cut everything, you have your interfacing on, you grab your ribbon. The ribbon needs to be 3 inches long. Around 3 inches, and then you just put it along the top, and I just clip it into place, and then I go ahead and sew it shut. So you want to just top stitch all the way around. Now alternately, if you don't want to go crazy like I do and do a bunch at a time, and you just have a little bit of leftover fabric or whatever scraps you have, all you need to do is take a 6.5 by 2.5 inch piece, 2 of them obviously, and then get your interfacing, and you can obviously do these one at a time. So you just want to iron that onto your interfacing. What I have noticed though, if you do them one at a time, you don't want to use too much of an iron. You don't want to leave it on there too long because it will bubble up a bit. So use a soft touch on your iron. Now all I'm doing is I'm going to go ahead and iron this, or I'm sorry, you're going to sew it shut with about a 1/4 inch seam allowance here. And you're top stitching all the way around. You're just closing this whole thing up. When you get to the top, and you can start at any end, it doesn't really matter. I just naturally, for some reason, start on the left side and go down to the bottom and then around to the top here. You want to make sure that the ribbon is sturdy, it's in the middle, and that you actually sew through the ribbon so it doesn't get pulled out when you're finished. You want to do a single back stitch when you start, and then again when you're finished to kind of lock that in place. You're going to go ahead and cut off the threads And then you're going to grab some pinking shears and cut your way around that. The pinking shears, what they do is they make sure that there are no raw edges. So it kind of locks everything in place. And you want to be careful when you get to the top where that ribbon is. I just pull it down and then use my pinking shears there and then flip it over and then do the same on the other side. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. This is a very beginner friendly product. And it's because you use very light interfacing, it doesn't really warp the book in any way. It's not too thick. So there you go. And I have plenty of them in my shop right now. If you want to order something else from me and add it on, go ahead. I also have a bunch of holiday ones available, so just click that link down below.